When you stop searching, the world begins to change. Have you ever wondered what happens when you simply stop seeking that person who seemed to be the center of your attention? When you decide to turn the page, something far deeper than physical absence takes place. It's the invisible impact your absence leaves on their mind, memories, and even pride. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us about emotional control and the value of detachment, offers surprising insights into these situations. What goes through their mind when you disappear? How do they deal with the void left behind? Get ready for a journey of self-reflection that goes beyond the obvious. Discover how absence can be more powerful than presence, how it exposes hidden truths, and how, in the end, it transforms the way you see both yourself and the other person. The void that remains, when you stop being their safe harbor. When you decide to stop searching for someone, a silent transformation occurs. Your absence, once merely an abstract concept, becomes a tangible space. Suddenly, the person who is used to your constant presence realizes that something essential is missing. That invisible comfort you provided, whether through a supportive message, a timely like, or even a habitual good morning, is simply no longer there. This void has an impact that goes beyond the emotional. It manifests in small, everyday actions. The automatic habit of checking for your messages, the impulse to open your profile on social media, or even the unconscious thought of sharing something that happened during their day. Now, all of that meets a blank space, a gap that persistently reminds them of your absence. Stoic philosophy teaches that our expectations create mental patterns that, when broken, cause discomfort. For someone accustomed to having you as a constant presence, your absence is like the removal of a piece of furniture in a room, something that was always there and whose absence is only noticed when it's gone. This discomfort forces them to confront not only the longing but also their own emotional dependence. The void you leave behind is not just a physical absence, it's an echo that reverberates in significant moments. Perhaps during a tough day, when they instinctively look for your supportive message, or in a moment of triumph they'd like to share with you. It is in these moments that the weight of your absence becomes a constant presence, creating a painful contrast between what was and what is no longer. Furthermore, your absence exposes something deeper, what you represented. You were not just company but a kind of quiet security, a safe harbor they could return to without thinking. Now, without that harbor, they find themselves navigating uncharted waters, forced to deal with emotions and questions they previously ignored. In the end, the void that remains teaches more than your presence ever could. It is a reminder of what was taken for granted, of the value often overlooked until it's lost. It's a silent but powerful lesson that echoes as much in them as it does in you. The mirror of absence, reflections of hidden truths. When you decide to stop searching for someone, your absence becomes more than a void. It transforms into an unforgiving mirror. This mirror reflects truths that, more often than not, the other person tried to ignore. It's an unavoidable confrontation with their own choices, actions, and how they handled the relationship. Initially, this mirror appears foggy, like a confusing view of something they don't want or are unable to understand. But gradually, clarity emerges. The lack of messages, interactions, or emotional support creates a contrast that forces a different perception of what your presence meant. Actions once justified as routine or convenience now seem like significant omissions. Small gestures of care, forgotten conversations, or neglected meetings take on an importance that was previously ignored. This reflection also exposes something profound about human behavior: the tendency to value something only when it's no longer available. Each time they find themselves thinking about how you were always present, a silent discomfort arises, a mix of regret and self-awareness. As the Stoics often emphasize, our actions, not our intentions, define who we are. In the mirror of your absence, their actions, or lack thereof, gain a new weight, becoming impossible to ignore. The most intriguing aspect of this mirror is how it forces the other person to confront not just the relationship with you but also with themselves. Why did they allow things to reach this point? Why did they underestimate your presence? These questions surface at unexpected moments, during a walk, while hearing a song you shared, or visiting a place you frequented together. It's like a high-definition replay of their own mistakes, impossible to ignore. Additionally, the mirror of absence reflects a future that could have existed. It projects moments that are now impossibilities, opportunities that were missed, and connections that will no longer happen. For the observer, the pain of realizing what could have been is often greater than the longing for what actually was. This forced reflection, though uncomfortable, is an opportunity for growth. It's a moment of raw honesty, where there's no room for excuses or distractions. Stoic philosophy teaches that self-knowledge is born from these confrontations with the truth. The mirror of your absence is precisely that, a chance for them to see themselves unfiltered and, perhaps, find the courage to change. In the end, this mirror not only reflects what was lost but also illuminates paths to new perceptions. It's a powerful tool that can transform regret into learning, and learning into more conscious future actions. Your absence, paradoxically, becomes a presence, one that teaches, reflects, and transforms. The power of silence, when words are not needed. Silence is a powerful language, capable of communicating truths that words never could. When you decide to stop searching for someone, the silence that follows is more eloquent than any message or gesture you've ever sent. It speaks directly to the other person's consciousness, forcing them to listen not only to the absence of your voice but also to the sound of their own thoughts and emotions. At first, this silence may feel like an uncomfortable void. The lack of notifications, messages, or interactions creates an echo that reverberates unexpectedly. It's like a song that always played in the background, and when it stops, the resulting silence draws more attention than the melody ever did. This silence isn't just an absence, it's an undeniable presence, filling the space with reflection and meaning. The Stoics have long recognized the transformative power of silence as a tool for self-awareness. When you stop searching, the other person is compelled to confront questions they may have avoided for a long time. Why did they take your presence for granted? Why didn't they value the opportunities for connection while you were available? Every moment of silence whispers uncomfortable yet necessary truths about choices and behaviors. This silence also reveals hidden dynamics within the relationship. When your voice, gestures, and energy are no longer filling the gaps, the true nature of the relationship comes to light. It's like draining a pool. Only when the water is gone can you see what's at the bottom. For the person experiencing your absence, silence is a mirror reflecting both failures and missed opportunities. Furthermore, silence forces a re-evaluation of priorities. Without the constant distraction of your presence, the other person begins to see clearly what was neglected. This process can be uncomfortable but is also profoundly liberating. It allows them to view things in a new light, identify what truly matters, and adjust their future actions. The power of silence goes beyond introspection. It's also a silent declaration of self-worth. When you choose not to seek anymore, you communicate that your peace and well-being do not depend on the other person's validation or attention. It's as if every moment of silence says, "I value myself enough not to settle for less than I deserve." This message doesn't need words. It's felt in the space left by your absence. Finally, silence isn't just an absence but an invitation to transformation. It creates a space where the other person can grow, reflect, and perhaps change. It's a reminder that sometimes the most important things we need to say can be said without a single word. Silence, when used wisely, is not an end but the beginning of something new, for you and for them.